Hello everyone, Axel here for not really a figure review, but more of a statue review. Today we're going to look at the Doom Eternal Modern Icons statue, which was made by Chronic Collectibles and released as a ThinkGeek / GameStop exclusive. This is available at GameStop for $49.99 and released back in January of 2020. So let's go ahead and look at that statue. Now, before we get into the statue, I just want to go, for the first time, I want to go over the packaging first, because I think this is such a nice packaging. Now, one thing that I do have a problem with is that this is a slip-off. Let me just point that out. You just slip that off. One thing I do have a problem with is that here in the photo, they do show the statue in black and white. I just think that this can throw off the average consumer off. You're going to look at the statue and say, oh, it's black and white. But what's really cool is that this is a slip, so you remove it. And you do have a better packaging. I think they should have gone with this one more. You have the Slayer's mark, the symbol. And you do have the logo of Doom Eternal. And you do have a nicer colored look to the statue. Nothing to the back of the box except the Chronicle Collectibles logo. And this nice like lava feeling. The nice, not lava feeling, but no. Box just feels like cardboard. Nice like lava decal. And then you have another nice look at the statue right there. So yes, there's the packaging. Now let's open this bad boy up and look at the figure. So here is a statue. I accidentally said figure while looking at the packaging. Now looking at the statue with the base, it does measure around 9.5 inches, which is very nice. So there are actually two pieces to this statue. There is the base, which has a nice Hell Knight. And then you do have the Slayer. So first, I do want to look at the base. Off here is the base. Immediately what catches your eye is the Hell Knight head that you have and his arm right here. Now this base has a lot of detail actually. So in the area that he died in, you can kind of see that it has Mars. It's orange, so it has to resemble Mars. And then they could have just done it like a flat orange color, but no, they actually added more detail. And you can see a lot of rocks and just dirt. And I think it came out really nice. And not only that, but they put a lot of detail to the Hell Knight as well. You can see his individual teeth, his eye and everything. And then not even that, but his arm too also has like guts you can see. And then you can see a bone right there. And the blood just has like this nice glossy paint. And it just looks really nice. It reflects. I absolutely love this base. And you even have more blood right here on the back of his head. And then not only that, but his arm is super detailed. You can see a bunch of veins going there. You can see his muscles, his claws. This base is just gorgeous looking. And then on the bottom, you do have this nice styrofoam feeling. So it doesn't have any scratches when you put it down on the surface. And it just has the companies that were involved in making this great piece. But yeah, just an absolutely fantastic base. I think this is just a nice display in general too, just the base itself. But aside from the base, let's look at the Doomslayer statue. There is a lot I love about this, and there is very little that I don't like. So first off, I'm gonna go with my criticism about this statue. I don't know if you can see it very well. But as in like the video game, his helmet is translucent so you can see his head. But the problem about this statue is that if I can get a focus there, his head is not, you can see his face, but his face is super low detail. You can just see an eye and a nose, and it just looks like an average looking face. I think if they put a lot more detail into the face where it showed like an angry expression, I think that would have come out very nice. But it just looks like a random dude in the Slayer's suit, in the Praetor suit. So I didn't really like how that came off. I think they could have done a better job with the face underneath, but it is what it is. Moving down, we do have this yellow part right here. And although he does have, here I have this for reference right here, he does have yellow in his suit right there on the side, but I just think that it's like a more of a darker yellow here. I don't know if it's the coloring and shading on this promotional piece, but it's a lot more darker here. And then it's a lot lighter here on the statue. And when you're looking at the statue, the yellow does seem a bit out of place. So I just wish that they made the yellow coloring there a little bit darker. It is dark, but I just wanted it a little bit more shadowy, as you can say. And then moving on right here, he does have red lights on his stomach, around his abs, on his suit. But I think they poorly replicated those lights to the statue, as they use the exact same paint as, say, the blood. They use the exact same paint for illuminating the lights, to show off the lights. I think that just looks a bit off. It looks more like blood more than lights. So I don't like how that came off. And plus, on top of that, some are just off-center, not even where they're supposed to be. So that's just another criticism of mine. Finally, the final criticism that I have is his arms. I don't know if this was an issue with mine, but I don't know if his muscles are supposed to be like dirty or something, but they're just like dirt. They look like they have dirt on them. I don't know if that's supposed to add detail or that's how it's supposed to be. But either way, I just think that it's a little bit off, and his arms could have been a lot more lighter. If to show detail that they were dirty, I think they did a great job, but I don't think that's what they were going for. Statue, and there are so many good things. First off, this thing is super detailed. Like, holy heck, this is really detailed. You have the individual holes right here for his arm. There's a lot of back teeth detail. You can see this on his butt. You have these individual pockets right here. His helmet is really nice. It's really detailed. You can have these 3 spikes right here on the side of his helmet. You have all of this detail on the top of his torso. His legs too have a bunch of detail. They did look at that. There's so much work given into this, and they did say that they used id Software's files to create this, and I do believe it, because holy heck, this is extremely detailed. One thing that, like, look at the side of his arm. Like, they replicated so well. It's amazing. One thing that did catch me off a little bit is that I thought my piece came in wrong, because you can see that his flame belt right here is a bit crooked to the side, but it turns out that's how it actually is. I actually never knew that, so yeah, it was a thing. He does come with a super shotgun with the meat hook, standard weapon that you're gonna get on possibly every single Slayer merchandise that they make for Eternal. He does have his wrist blade poking out. One thing that I do caution is that this blade is not sharp at all, but if you do go to the meat hook, it is super pointy and sharp, that it makes marks. I don't know if you can see it there. No, you can't, but it is. So I would just be a bit careful, because you can probably get hurt from that. That hurts. It pricks. But on the bottom of the statue, you do have blood that splatters from the Hell Knight, I guess, that they were trying to replicate. And I think it just looks really nice. Moving on continuing back to my criticism of the blood, that this looks more like blood than the red lights. You may say, oh, you know, that doesn't really matter. But if you look at the back here, you can see all that red that he has, and it's clear, and they beautifully replicated it into the back. But I just think that the red lights in the front is just a mess. Like, even right here, the paint's a little bit off for his light. But other than that, this is a really good piece, and sometimes I just wish that this wasn't like this is one just big mold. You can't move this except for the flame belch and frag grenade launcher, but it does feel like it's gonna break if you move it, so I wouldn't advise that. But I just wish that you can move this, because this would be such a good figure if they just released a figure. Like, move the joints, move the legs, move the torso, move the head. You could have, like, honestly, one of the best figures ever for Doom if you released that, if they did that. But yeah, this is just one big mold. You can't move anything about it. Now, to attach the Slayer to the base, you do have these pegs right here on the bottom of his feet. So the 2 pegs do go onto the Hell Knight's head, and the other go onto the Mars base. Let's get this here. It is a bit difficult, And there you go. So your final statue product would be the Slayer standing triumphantly over a Hell Knight's head, and it just looks gorgeous. You can display this with any Doom collection, and I just think it looks really nice. The blood makes a lot more sense when it's with the base because it like splatters from there. And this is just an absolutely gorgeous statue. I think that if you are into Doom, that this is actually a must get. Something I didn't mention about the base, you do have the outline right here. Let me get that. You do have the outline right here, and it's just green, but it's also black. That has no problem whatsoever. I don't think it changes the quality at all. But yeah, this is just an amazing statue. So let's go on to the final verdict. So overall, I think that this is the best statue that I own in my collection. I do own quite a few, but even though this one is a bit this is a more cheaper solution to Doom merchandise, this is absolutely fantastic. For $50, you are absolutely getting your money's worth. This thing measures about 9.5 inches, as I said. It's not that big, but I think that for the price and the detail of just this whole entire statue, this piece is phenomenal. That's a steal of a price. I think that they could have easily gone for around $75 or $80 for this, but no, they stick with $50, which literally you're ripping them off for this. He does tend to go out of stock sometimes at GameStop. Like I said, he is a GameStop exclusive, and then scalpers usually charge around $85 to $100. But he tends to go in stock right immediately after he's out of stock. So just watch out for GameStop online if you're catching one of these. But overall, I would give this statue an A. The only thing that ruins it for me is, like I said, that yellow paint that just looks a bit off, and this just the face and the paint right here on his abs. But overall, I would give this figure an A. Very few problems that I have with it. A lot of positives of this thing. I think that if you're any Doom fan, if you got into Eternal, if you got into the franchise by Eternal, if you want to test out the other games, if you want to get more merchandise, then this is absolutely a piece that you should own. And that is all for the review. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you later. Goodbye.